Okay, dealing with exponential growth and decay, we're going to be dealing with two different formulas, but they are very similar. There's only one difference between them. Okay, so the exponential growth formula, we're going to use y equals a times the quantity 1 plus r to the t. That's the formula we're going to follow. Y equals a times the quantity 1 plus r to the t. Okay, now let's talk about what all those variables mean. A means, first of all, when we're talking about exponential growth, what are we dealing with? Or what can we be dealing with in the real life? What do they use? Population. Yep. So thinking of population this whole time, A stands for our initial amount. Initial amount, so what we started with. So that's our beginning population if we're dealing with population. Okay? 1 just stands for 1. Okay? R, what do you think R stands for? R stands for the rate. Rate means how fast the population is changing. So usually rate comes into a percentage. Okay, and T, what does T normally always stand for? Time. Yep, the amount of time that has passed that we're dealing with in our certain scenario. Okay, so A, we have our initial amount. R is our rate, our percentage. And T is the time, how long we've been studying our population. Okay, Y is just what you end up going to get for your answer. Okay, so that's exponential growth. What do you think exponential decay looks like? There's one difference. What? Not division. Yeah, the only thing that's going to change is this right there. It's going to change to subtraction. So make another heading in your notes, exponential decay. What do we normally think of when we talk about exponential decay? Death, okay? So like I said, y equals a times the quantity 1 minus r to the t. Again, these mean the same thing. We have our initial amount R stands for what again? Rate. And what is rate normally found in? A percentage. And T is time, whether it's in years, days, months, whatever we're dealing with. Okay? Any questions about those two? What they mean? Okay, the biggest thing about this is you're going to be given all of these things. You're not going to have to find one of them. You're going to be given all of these different things. Okay, it's just a matter of plugging it in. That's why we practiced with our calculators yesterday. Okay, because there's a lot of exponents and orders operations that we have to deal with. Okay, so let me give you an example so we can practice. This is going to be with exponential growth. With exponential growth, we just need to plug these in. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite that formula. You have a times 1 plus r to the t. We just got to plug those in. Okay, so what did we say A was? 100. And then R is 2.5, right? To plug that into a formula, we got to take it out of the percentage. How can I change the percentage into a decimal? If I have 2.5%, how do I change that to where I can work with it? Bless you. Move the decimal which way? This way. Yep. I'm going to move it 2. Why do I move it 2 places? Why do I move the decimal 2 places? How much is a percentage out of? 100. So I'm moving it 2 places, which is a hundredths place. Okay. So our rate would be 0.025. And then finally, what's t? 15. Okay. So the only thing that changed from its original value was that rate. Okay, because we have to turn it into a decimal in order to use it. Okay, now it's a matter of just typing this in our calculator. What comes first? What do we need to do first? parentheses. We need to add those together. Type 1 plus 0.025 in your calculator. Everyone type it in. You're going to want it. Okay? Everything you type in your calculator, you're just going to leave it in there. Okay, so whatever answer you get, leave it in there. So you're going to have 1 plus 0.025, which you got what? Yep, 1.025. What would our next step be? Exponent. So take that in your calculator to the 15th power. So I'm going to estimate I got 1.448 and so on. Okay. Now lastly, what's my last step? Multiply. Y equals 144.83. So again, what was the only difference with decay? Yep, it goes down, so we need subtraction. Good. Okay, so using our values provided, let's plug in our formula. So we have y equals a times 1 minus r to the t. So plug in those three values. Y equals 4,500. What's the only value that needs to change? The rate. 6.6. Where do I need to move? Left. How many? 1, 2. Yep. So we have 0.066. And then our t is 3. Okay. Walk through those steps in your calculator. Let's do it all together. What needs to go first? Parentheses. Type in 1 minus 0.066. And again, you do not need to write all these steps out. I'm just doing it so you can check, but if you want to, that's fine too. You should get 0.934. What's my next step in calculating? Exponents. So take that, leave it in your calculator, take that to the third power. So I have 0.814 and so on. And then last step would be, yep, divide or multiply. So you get y equals 3,666.51. Biggest thing I wanted you to understand today is why the equations are the way they are and calculating it the right way in our calculators, which I think we're all good on that part. If not, I can help you. Okay. Any questions over what the variables mean, how to plug it in, and whatnot? Okay. Again, what's the only value that changes from its original? The rate. Yep. Don't forget to change the rate into hundredths. Okay?